The morning sun rose a little earlier than usual in Greenwich. The soft April light made the cherry blossoms in St. Mary's church garden glow a gentle pink. It looked like something out of a dream. Inside the church, Emma Wilson was getting ready to make the biggest promise of her life, her wedding vows. Emma was a kind and gentle pediatrician at the city's children's hospital. She always put others first and believed in keeping her word. Her coworkers respected her deeply, not just for her skill, but because she always stayed true to her heart. On her days off, Emma loved taking pictures of the sick children at the hospital. Capturing their smiles brought her the most joy. She earned a good living, about $150,000 a year, but she didn't show off. Her fiancé, Chen, worked as a branch manager at an IT company. His parents were Chinese immigrants who had worked hard to give him a better life, and David never forgot his roots. Even though he made $200,000 a year, he was down-to-earth and kind. People liked him for his honest and respectful nature. Emma and David had met at a hospital charity event, and they had clicked right away. Emma's family, the Wilsons, were well known in Greenwich. Everyone knew who they were. Her father, Robert Wilson, ran a big real estate company called Wilson Properties. The company made over $20 million a year. But lately, Robert didn't care much about work. He spent most of his time playing golf or posting on social media, showing off a lifestyle full of fancy parties and trips. Many people in the business world thought he cared more about looking successful than actually working hard. Her mother, Margaret, was a full-time housewife who used to be very involved in the community, but now, she spent most of her time taking selfies and posting on Instagram, where she had 20,000 followers. She went to the spa 3 times a week and cared more about getting likes than spending time with her family. Emma often worried about how distant her mother had become. Emma's older sister Ashley worked at their father's company too. Thanks to family connections, she was more interested in being an Instagram influencer than doing her actual job. With 100,000 followers, Ashley made $110,000 a month and spent most of it on clothes, beauty treatments, and expensive dinners. Her online image mattered more to her than her real life. One important person close to the Wilson family was Jennifer Anderson. She owned the biggest shopping mall in the area and was one of Wilson Properties' most important clients. Her mall brought in $10 million in business a year for the Wilsons. Jennifer was known as a kind and generous woman, especially at Emma's hospital, where she often donated money for sick children. She had known Emma since she was little and treated her like family. For the wedding, about 50 guests were invited from Emma's father's side of the family, including grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. On her mother's side, her grandmother, several aunts and uncles, and cousins were also planning to come. Important people in the town were invited too: Jennifer and her husband, doctors from Emma's hospital, business partners, family friends, and the church pastor. The wedding was carefully planned and cost about $100,000. Everyone was told to wear formal clothes, and everything was perfect. The cherry blossoms were in full bloom, just as they had hoped for a spring wedding. Inside the bridal room of St. Mary's Church, Emma sat quietly in front of a big mirror. She was wearing a white wedding gown, looking like a picture of calm, but inside, she felt nervous. Maria, the makeup artist, was adding the finishing touches, and Linda, Emma's longtime friend, gently adjusted her veil while sneaking glances outside. "The light's perfect," Linda whispered, "but, still no sign of your mom or sister?" Emma shook her head, worry starting to show on her face. Her mom had promised to arrive early to take photos for social media. Just last night, she had texted, "Can't wait to get great pictures in the morning." But now, nothing, no messages, no calls. Ashley's Instagram, normally updated every half hour, had been completely silent since the night before. Maria paused for a second, her brow furrowing. "Emma, your face is getting pale. Try to breathe slowly, okay?" Just then, the wedding planner, Sarah, walked in with her clipboard. "I've gone over everything with the pastor. Wait, where's your family?" No one could answer. Outside, the voices of arriving guests floated in. "Where are the Wilsons?" Someone whispered. "Isn't it strange they're not here?" Emma's phone suddenly rang. Her screen lit up. "Mom." Everyone in the room looked at her. The tension felt like it filled every corner of the space. Emma picked up the call. "Mom, are you on your way to the church?" To her shock, she heard waves crashing, music playing, and her mother's bright, cheerful voice. "Oh, Emma, we're in Hawaii right now." Emma blinked. What? Today is my wedding day." Oh, was that today? Sorry, we just thought a vacation would be more fun. In the background, Emma heard her sister laughing. Mom, this beach chair is amazing. The sound of ocean waves and laughter made Emma's heart sink. You're joking, right? Her voice trembled. No, sweetie, it's Sophie's spring break, so we decided to take a little family trip. You'll understand someday. Ashley's voice chimed in again. This angle is perfect for Instagram. I'll send you the pics later. The call ended. Emma's hand dropped the phone. It hit the carpet with a soft thud, but to her, it felt like thunder. No one in the room spoke. Maria's hands froze. Linda's eyes widened. Even Sarah, who had seen every kind of wedding disaster, was speechless. Then, 3 soft knocks on the door. "Excuse me, Emma," came a calm voice. It was Jennifer Anderson. She stood tall, holding an iPad in her hands, her presence commanding. Emma looked at her with tear-filled eyes. "Mrs. Anderson?" she whispered. Jennifer nodded. "I saw the posts." She turned the iPad around. On the screen were pictures of the Wilson family on a sunny beach, laughing and posing like they hadn't just missed one of the most important days in Emma's life. "I've known you for 20 years, Jennifer said gently, "and I've seen the kind of woman you've become. Today, I'll stand in your family's place." Emma's tears finally spilled, but this time, they weren't from sadness, they were from something warmer, feeling truly loved. Jennifer squeezed her hand. "Let's post something now," she said firmly. "Post?" Emma asked, surprised. "Yes, on their precious social media, but first, let's take a photo you'll be proud of." They walked to the center of the church, standing under the rainbow-colored stained glass windows. The sunlight poured down on them like a blessing. "Let's start new," Jennifer said. "Let's build a better kind of family." As the church bells began to ring, Emma nodded. Outside, the first guests began arriving. The sunlight reflected off the stained glass, painting the floor in rich colors. Emma's grandfather arrived first. His face was serious, his beard white, and his eyes sharp. When he heard what happened, he shook with emotion. "This is unforgivable," he said, striking the floor softly with his cane. Then, Emma's aunt from her mother's side came in. Her face was pale with shock. She didn't say much, just walked up to Emma and held her hand tightly. In that one simple act, Emma felt what real family was supposed to feel like. And just like that, the day, what should have been full of pain, started to change. Love showed up in a different form, and Emma began to understand what family really meant. This wasn't the wedding she had imagined. But maybe, it was the beginning of something even more beautiful. As guests took their seats, David gently held Emma's hand. His grip was firm, but comforting, full of meaning that words couldn't express. He looked at her with deep love in his eyes. "Emma," he said softly, "we may not be connected by blood, but I promise you this, we are building a new family today. With everyone who is here with us, we'll create something strong, something lasting. Together, we'll write a new story filled with love." Tears welled up in Emma's eyes, but unlike the tears she cried earlier that morning, these were tears of happiness. They trickled down her cheeks, landing like soft raindrops on her wedding dress. Each one sparkled with hope. After the ceremony, everyone moved to the reception. There was a powerful sense of togetherness in the room, one that didn't rely on last names or family trees. It was built on love, loyalty, and the choice to stand by one another. Emma's grandfather stood up slowly, holding his glass. The room went silent. "Today," he began, his voice strong and clear, "I feel more anger and sadness than I have ever known, but at the same time, I feel something even deeper, love and pride. My own son, his wife, and my granddaughter's sister didn't come to her wedding. It is unforgivable. Never in the Wilson family's history has something so shameful happened." A hush fell over the room. The weight of his words hung heavy in the air. "But then I look around," he continued, his tone changing. "I see all of you, the love and support you've shown Emma today. This is what a true family looks like. It's not about blood, it's about the people who show up and care." Jennifer Anderson, a respected businesswoman and longtime friend of Emma's, stood next. She had always been like a second mother to her. "I have an idea," she said gently. Everyone turned to listen. "Since the ones who hurt Emma value appearances and social media so much, why don't we show the world what real family looks like?" Emma's maternal aunt, still wiping away tears, stood too. "Yes, Let's take all the pain and disappointment they caused and turn it into something good, something filled with love. Voices rose one by one, offering suggestions, not out of anger, but from a desire to protect, support, and stand together. Soon, a large circle formed. 50 guests joined hands. It wasn't planned, but it felt right. It felt like family. "Let's walk forward together," Jennifer said, her voice steady. "This is our story now." David squeezed Emma's hand. She looked up at him and nodded. "Everyone here today," David said, "you're our real family, and we want to live this new life together, with the people who chose love over appearances." At that moment, the church bells rang. A beautiful sound echoed through Greenwich, as if the whole town was celebrating the birth of this new bond. Jennifer took out her phone. Her expression was calm but determined. Emma's social media post went up seconds later. A single photo glowed on the screen at the reception, Emma in her white dress, standing proudly beside Jennifer. The spring sunlight coming through the stained glass windows gave everything a soft, golden glow. Her caption read, "I want to introduce someone very special, Mrs. Jennifer Anderson, owner of Anderson Mall. She's been like family to me for 20 years, always showing me love and support. This morning, my mother called to say she wouldn't be coming to my wedding. My entire family chose a vacation in Hawaii over being here for me." Guests watched the post go live. A few soft gasps filled the room, but they weren't from sadness, they were from support, because everyone knew this moment mattered. While my own parents and sister were away on holiday, Mrs. Anderson came running. She said, "We can't let your new life start this way." Her love and strength reminded me what it means to be a true adult, and what real family looks like. Within minutes, the post spread, first to the local community, then further, to the business world, the media, and beyond. Soon, the room gathered again, this time for an urgent discussion. "We need to think carefully about what comes next," Jennifer said. A business executive spoke. "Wilson Properties stock is dropping fast. It seems the market is questioning Robert Wilson's leadership." A lawyer added, "There are legal options we could explore, damages, broken contracts, even a shareholder lawsuit." But Emma shook her head. "I don't want revenge," she said quietly. "I just wanted love. That's all I ever wanted." The room was silent again. Then her grandfather rose once more. "Emma is right," he said, "and standing with her today is the right thing. On the pride of the Wilson name, I support her fully." A final group photo was taken. The guests surrounded Emma and David in a circle. Their smiles were real, full of warmth and strength. The photo was posted, and beneath it appeared one simple but powerful message. "Today, we, the new family, formally cut ties with Robert, Margaret, and Ashley Wilson. They broke a sacred promise and abandoned what family means. We stand together now, united by choice and love." All 50 guests signed it. The sun poured through the windows as they pressed post. Outside, the cherry blossoms fluttered in the breeze. It felt like the world itself was celebrating this new beginning. Emma squeezed David's hand again. No more tears, only strength. The wind carried soft petals through the sky, like nature itself was saying goodbye to the old and welcoming the new. 1 year later, spring returned to Greenwich. The cherry blossoms at St. Mary's Church were in full bloom again, but this year, everything felt different. Emma's wedding had gone viral, shared on every platform, discussed on TV, analyzed in articles. People called it the fall of a social media-obsessed family, and a wake-up call to modern society. The Wilson family's downfall was swift. Robert Wilson lost his biggest contract with Anderson Mall. Other companies followed. Within months, his company's stock hit an all-time low. Under pressure, he stepped down and now runs a tiny real estate office. Margaret Wilson faced public backlash. Her Instagram post about choosing Hawaii over her daughter's wedding sparked outrage. Her account was suspended. Her social circle vanished overnight. Her once luxurious lifestyle faded. She was later diagnosed with depression and rarely leaves her house. Ashley, once a rising influencer, lost all her sponsors. Her follower count dropped to a few hundred. The title, "The Sister Who Betrayed Family," stuck. She now works part-time at a cafe, the kind of job she used to mock. But not all changes were sad. Emma and David announced they were expecting a baby. Their post received over 100,000 likes. Full of joy and support, Jennifer Anderson was proudly named the baby's godmother. Emma's work at the hospital grew more rewarding. Her photo series, "Today's Smile," featuring kids she cared for, became a beloved regular feature online. Every Sunday, the new family gathered at Jennifer's house for dinner. They shared laughs, stories, and quiet joy. Emma's grandfather often said, "This is what family really is," and everyone would nod, their hearts full. On their first wedding anniversary, all 50 guests returned to St. Mary's Church. The pastor offered a special blessing. "True family is made from love, trust, and kindness. You've shown us something beautiful." Emma touched her belly, feeling the gentle movement of new life. David wrapped his arm around her shoulders. Around them, their chosen family smiled, their hearts full. The story of that wedding was still shared sometimes, but now, it was no longer just about betrayal or loss. It was a story of healing, strength, and the power of love that isn't bound by blood. Outside, cherry blossoms danced in the wind, just like last year, but now they seemed to carry a message. This is what new beginnings look like.